Authorities in California are investigating a Chevron refinery spill that dumped about 600 gallons of petroleum and water into the San Francisco Bay.
I've never seen that before.
The sight of it alarmed local residents such as Richard Katz.
I've been here 30 years in that house right there. No, I've never seen a spill like that before.
Environmental groups are worried about the potential harm to wildlife. David Lewis is with the group Save the Bay.
Right next to this Chevron Long Wharf is one of the major haul-out areas for harbor seals. This time of year, there's a lot of migratory birds that are on the surface of the bay. And of course, all year round, there's fish and sharks and wildlife in the water that could be poisoned by this kind of oil.
In an email to Reuters, Chevron said it first noticed a sheen on the water around 3 p.m. on Tuesday near the wharf at its Richmond refinery. It said cleanup was underway. The regional air pollution regulator on Twitter later said the spill had been contained.
The CDC released new guidance Wednesday on mask wearing, telling Americans 2 masks are better than 1, and if you only wear one, make sure it has a tight fit. Researchers at the CDC in January conducted experiments to see how well wearing a cloth mask over a surgical mask and knotting the ear loops of a surgical mask and then tucking the excess material close to the face protects against COVID-19. They found that both of these methods helped reduce the exposure to potentially infected aerosols by more than 90% in laboratory simulations. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky.
New data released from CDC today underscore the importance of wearing a mask correctly and making sure it fits closely and snugly over your nose and mouth.
Nationwide, the daily tallies of new cases and hospitalizations from COVID-19 have been dropping steadily in recent weeks. But public health experts fear that gatherings for Super Bowl celebrations on Sunday, as well as the arrival of new highly contagious variants of the virus, may lead to another surge in cases before most are vaccinated, telling Americans to continue to rely on masks and to, if possible, as the first line of defense.
Europe's oldest person is blind, a Catholic nun, and now also a survivor of coronavirus. The French nun, Sister André, will celebrate her 117th birthday this week.
Est-ce que ça vous a inquiété à un moment?
That's the spokesman for her care home in southern France asking her if she was scared. Her reply was that she didn't even know she had the virus, and when she learned she did, she wasn't afraid of dying. Lucille Rondon took the name of Sister André when she joined a Catholic charitable order in 1944. David Tavella, the spokesman, says despite the virus, there'll still be birthday celebrations.
L'anniversaire de Sœur André arrive.
Sister André's birthday is taking place at a good time. It couldn't be a better time because it will mark the beginning of big festivities that will be organised around the relaxed restrictions. Our residents will be able to get out of their rooms, eat together, participate in activities. And yes, Sister André's birthday takes place just as this is happening, and this will allow us to bring everyone together once again. And we owe this to our eldest resident. It's very touching and relieving for the residents, for the families, and for the care workers.
Et pour les professionnels aussi.
Prominent women's rights activist Loujain Al-Haloul was released from a Saudi prison after nearly 3 years behind bars, her family said on Wednesday. In a case that has drawn international condemnation, 31-year-old Haloul was detained in May of 2018 and sentenced in December to nearly 6 years in prison for allegedly seeking to change the Saudi political system and harming national unity, charges UN human rights experts called spurious. Haloul had campaigned for a woman's right to drive and to end Saudi's male guardianship system. Rights groups and her family say Haloul, who was detained with several other women's rights activists, was subjected to abuse, including electric shocks, waterboarding, flogging, and sexual assault. Saudi authorities denied the accusations and gave no immediate comment on her release. The White House has said President Joe Biden, who is taking a firmer line with Saudi Arabia than his predecessor Donald Trump, expects Riyadh to improve its human rights record, including releasing political prisoners. Speaking at the Pentagon Wednesday, Biden opened his remarks by hailing her release.
Before I begin, I have some welcome news that the Saudi government has released a prominent human rights activist, Lojain Al-Lowol, L-O-O-L, from prison. She was a powerful advocate for women's rights, and releasing her was the right thing to do.
Al-Lowol still faces a 5-year travel ban ordered by the Saudi court.
Maya Thwaithwai Kwang was supposed to be celebrating her 20th birthday on Thursday. Instead, she's fighting for her life in a hospital in Myanmar, the first known serious casualty of the ongoing protests against the country's military coup. She was shot in the back of the head when police clamped down on a peaceful protest in the capital on Tuesday. Video footage verified by Reuters shows Maya Thwaithwai Kwang was struck in the back of the head with a live round and then being pulled away by her sister, Maya Taito Noe, although the army has security forces using only non-lethal weapons.
I thought they were shooting into the sky at first, and I told my sister to go back, and then she got shot. I did not think she got shot at first. I thought she fainted as she was angry. But after people had shouted and asked her to remove her helmet, then I realized she got shot after seeing her bleeding behind her head. I did not even know how I got here to the hospital after that.
A doctor from the hospital told Reuters she had lost significant brain function and was not likely to survive.
I feel so heartbroken. We only have our mother left. Our father is already dead. I'm the eldest among 4 siblings, while my sister is the youngest. My mother won't be able to stand that her youngest daughter is dying like this. We also can't stand it, as we only have this sister. I can't even describe it in words.
The shooting of the teenager has caused outrage across the country, particularly as many members of the protests are Generation Z. They say they refuse to let another generation experience military rule.
The planned sale of TikTok to Oracle and Walmart has been pushed back indefinitely. That is according to a Wall Street Journal report on Wednesday. The move reportedly comes as President Joe Biden reviews the previous administration's efforts to address potential security risks posed by Chinese firms. Donald Trump's administration had argued that TikTok was a risk to US users, saying their personal data could be accessed by China's government. That allegation has always been denied by the app. Now, TikTok parent ByteDance finds itself in a legal tussle with Washington. Many federal courts have barred the Commerce Department's bid to shut down TikTok's US operations. The app has been in talks with Oracle and Walmart since September over a deal to shift its US assets to a new entity. That was intended to circumvent a total ban on its use in the country. There was no comment on the latest reports from any of the companies involved.
Coca-Cola topped fourth quarter profit estimates, and that is fueling optimism within the company that 2021 will be a better year. Quarterly results released Wednesday showed the soft drink giant still had to cut costs aggressively during the October to December quarter to offset negative financial impacts caused by the health crisis. A third of its revenues come from non-retail channels such as restaurants, movie theaters, and sporting events, which were either closed or opened with dramatically reduced capacity. Coca-Cola expects that to change in the coming year as more people get vaccinated. Revenues last quarter dropped 5%, which was a slightly bigger drop than anticipated. To counter the softness in the market, the soft drink giant has been busy trimming brands that have not been selling well. It is also shifting more focus to popular drinks such as sparkling waters and zero-sugar sodas. Coca-Cola is also undergoing a major restructuring that includes the loss of thousands of jobs. Investors believe the global giant is doing the right things to prepare for a rebound in demand and sent the stock higher in Wednesday trading.